a deep, rich, heavily peated Islay single malt Scotch whiskey from Kilchoman. Could this be Kilchoman's best? Let's find out. Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies, and in this video I'm going to do a review of the Kilchoman Loch Gorm Islay single malt Scotch whiskey. So this is the final in the lineup of the core range whiskeys from Kilchoman that I'll be reviewing, and I have really been enjoying this whiskey. Whoa! But before I get into it, here are my notes. The Kilchoman Loch Gorm Islay single malt Scotch whiskey. It was distilled in 2010, it was bottled in 2016. It was aged in ex-Oloroso sherry cask. It is bottled at 46% alcohol by volume. It is non-chill filtered, has natural color, and I paid $99 here in the United States. Alrighty, so thus far I've reviewed the Kilchoman Macquarie Bay, the 100% Islay, and the Saneg. This is the biggest, boldest of the core range. The sherry notes are really intense. It's really a dark, rich, sort of a broody whiskey. And when I first uncorked it, the peat and the smoke was really quite intense. Now, having got past the shoulder, it's becoming a little bit more integrated. But those fig, dates, raisin notes are really intense. So whereas the Saneg, had sherry and some time in bourbon, so it was more like a milk chocolate covered, raisin. This is really dark. Really earthy. It even has maybe a little bit of black licorice notes, dark chocolate. It has some honey, caramels, just a little bit of nuttiness, some saltiness. And out of all of them, even if the ppm isn't that radically different from the other Kilchoman bottlings, the way it is intermingled with the sherry notes really sort of gives it a lot more depth and intensity on the nose. All right, on the palate. Wow. One more. So like the others, it's at 46% alcohol by volume. But the intensity and concentration and the depth of the flavor is far more than the others. The smoke is really well integrated. It is very much a sort of a base, manly, kind of whiskey. Really deep, rich chocolate. The fig, the dates, and the raisins are definitely there. It's got a lot of earthiness to it. The saltiness is on the back end. Dark chocolate, just layers and layers of dark chocolate. A little bit of even like a dark coffee note. And some tobacco. I would say there isn't a great variation necessarily from the front to the middle to the finish, but what I like going all the way through, I really like. And as I'm talking now, it's almost as if you'd expect like peat smoke to be coming out of my mouth. So not only is it richer in flavor, it actually seems smokier as well. I really like this whiskey. I think it is the best of the core range of Kilchoman. However, as you saw there, it's also the most expensive, just hitting $100, and of course after you pay tax, depending on what your taxes are and where you live and so forth, it could be $110, $115, depending on it. So I absolutely think this is the best. I'm going to give this a solid 93 points. 93 points. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm still tasting it now. The finish is really long. Now, in terms of the quality price ratio, what do I think? That is going to be the challenge. I would say Kilchoman is riding that upper end of the price range, and immediately start thinking of some other neighbors there on Islay that have whiskeys qualitatively are on par and yet are still, you know, $15, $20 cheaper. And that's really going to be the challenge of this whiskey. Is I highly recommend it. I really, really, really like it. I think it's the best of Kilchoman. You don't really understand a distillery until you've had their very, very best. Now, that doesn't even include like special bottlings, official bottlings, and all that. I'm just talking about the core range, but it's absolutely fantastic. So if you like Ardbeg Supernova, if you like Bruichladdich Octomore, if you like that range of intensity of smoke and peat, then this is definitely going to be right up your alley. Now, how would it compare up against those? I'd have to do a whole nother video for that. It's worth doing, but I'd have to do a whole nother video for that. But if this can battle it out with the Supernova and with the Octomore, then it's actually a high value play, because those whiskeys are $120 and up. So they would even be more expensive. Now, I already know those whiskeys are also a higher ABV. But this whiskey demonstrates that you don't necessarily have to have more alcohol to get higher and more intense flavors, right? So does alcohol carry the flavor? In some respect, yes, but I think really where oftentimes you lose a lot of the flavor in whiskeys, it's not that it doesn't have a higher ABV, it's that you're losing as you're watering back. So depending on the method of adding water is going to determine how, or partly at least how much flavor you're going to maintain, right? So I think this is absolutely fantastic, and it definitely is showing its sense of place of being an Islay whiskey. All right, so if you are one of my Patreons, I want to thank you very much. If you're a subscriber, I want to thank you very much. If you like my videos but you've not become a subscriber, please do so by clicking down below. And if you want to be reminded when I go live or post a new video, you're going to want to hit the bell. All right, until next time, cheers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.